And now you're going to yell at me because I did not prepare the comments like I was supposed to. So, let us see here. I know there were ones I had responded to, or it thinks that I did, but I didn't actually respond to them yet. So, well, serves me right for going live, right? There. You know what? I think this is a loose one. Here we go. I found her. I found her. All right, so this is from News Over Beers number 0015, and it's the last in a chain of messages. Let's see here. It's definitely your choice to use whatever language towards people you want. I think the larger question is, why would you not call someone what they want to be called? What use is proving your individuality by not calling someone what they'd like to be called? If you were at work and someone refused to call you by your name, you'd think they were weird, a jerk, whatever. Maybe you're someone who doesn't want to be called Kev, or maybe you don't want to be called. Maybe you don't want to be called Kofi, uh, because your name is your name. You're Kevin, even if you wrote it off as, well, that's their right. I bet you'd still think it's pretty strange. I bet it seemed like they're going out of their way to not use your name. Maybe it's the same with pronouns. I'm going to read the whole comment and then I'm going to read my notes. Since you bring up transitioning, I've never known someone to be overbearing. Okay, let's see here. Maybe I won't. Okay, so I think maybe we need some firm social norms to stand for civility's sake, because it's illogical, right? Um, that's how we set up the entire pronoun system, right? Like, uh, you know, it's based on your biological gender, so that's it. And then all of a sudden you come up to somebody who says, "Well, no, I'm a boy, but I go by they, her," and you're like, "But you're a boy," like. And I get into this. I don't think the pronoun argument is the same. I think it's petty to change. I think it is petty to change, then argue semantics. A name is a variable depending on the person. Pronouns are a construct based on biological truths. Dismantle pronouns. Dismantle pronouns. Dismantle program. The dismantlement or ignore biology. Deconstructionism is what is dividing this country. The fastest way to destroy society, nation, and/or culture is to dismantle their alphabet. It destroys commonality and communication. So that was something I learned from, I believe, Miss Bracci in seventh grade social studies class. That if what a lot of cultures will do is they'll come and take over and they'll remove the native's language, and they'll enforce their own, and they'll start dismantling their alphabet, and that's kind of what we're doing in and of itself in our country. Well, I have the right to be called by whatever pronouns, and we're going to dismantle the social norms of this. Dismantling social norms is not a healthy thing when it affects the alphabet, speech patterns, biological truths, things like that, and you deconstructs our society. I believe Ben Shapiro talked about it in his book. Was it Burning Down America? Jesus. It was the first Ben Shapiro book I read, and it was like 2 books ago. His second to last book that came out. Um, how to destroy America in 3 easy steps. Um, but he just talked about disintegrationism. People that want to disintegrate our culture and dissolve everything that it originally stood for, and then it's like now we can start new, and it's like no, you know how hard it is to start new. Like, why would you have a good thing and then dismantle it? Like, oh, if your car breaks and you tear it apart and you sell it for scrap, like I get it. Your your car is in good shape and you just want to dismantle it just for fuck's sake because you think you can rebuild it better. That no, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Like, there were men and women. There were people. They were mostly men back with the founding fathers. Were all fathers, right? They were men. Um, there were fathers were individuals superior in their intellect than a lot of people nowadays. So I'm going to trust the car manufacturer and engineers who design cars more than I would myself to deconstruct a car and then put it back together and be like, ta-da, look at that, I did it. Like, oh, you're flying by the seat of your pants. These guys wrote papers upon papers. They were great thinkers. Like, the average Joe, like, in their head, sings underwear, pants, shoes every morning when they get dressed. That's what the average Joe's doing. Like, these guys didn't. These guys had like 10 times the amount of layers of clothes on between their breeches and their suspenders and their socks and their suspenders that hold their socks up to their trousers and yada yada. Like, they had like 18 articles of clothing. Like, there was no little simple song to put their clothes on. Like, they just knew how to do it, and they went on their day thinking profound thoughts, psychoanalyzing governments and how they worked and where their flaws were and how they could modify them. Went back and forth like the marrying of seasonings in a kettle with each other. Just okay, I'm gonna throw some tarragon at you. You're gonna take that tarragon, you throw it back, but you're gonna throw some. We got get that out of here, and they would do shit. That's what they did in their life and forth to one another, and they fought and they argued. They were divided, but they were still united. And that's what they did for the love of this country, for duty, for honor, for their rights. That's what they did it. They did it for their generations of children after them. They did it for their grandchildren. They did it all the way up to us. So that's what they did it for, and beyond us. And now we've got all these people trying to dismantle it. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a rant there. So let's see here. Since you brought up transitioning, I've never known someone to be overbearing. What experience do you have with it? Uh, I've never had someone on the street come up to me and announce they're transitioning and then demand I use their preferred pronouns, and I doubt it's even happened to you. I've had a situation, someone I've known for years tells me they're transitioning and asks me to call them by a different name. They didn't ask me to change their pronouns, but it was implied. It took me a long time because of habit, but eventually I got it. I didn't feel like an infringement of my rights. I can still call them whatever I want, but because I have no reason to insult them, I stick to what they'd prefer when I've been out. I've occasionally been corrected about someone's name to what they'd prefer when, oh, sorry, I mispronounce or mistaken. Let's see here. I've been corrected about someone's name I mispronounced or mistaken. I didn't change because I was forced to. I changed because it didn't seem any reason not to. Why gender pronouns are any different? Even if someone wants to be called a walrus, who cares? Don't think that reference means I think gender is the same as walrus. Expression of respect is odd to me. Okay, let's see here. I've had people tell me their name change, and similarly, out of respect for that, person uses the pronoun, but it takes a minute to correct. And I've had those people. What is that? So upset it ended our friendship. And then I wrote, literally, it'd be like, "Hey, I'd like to be called her now." Like, okay, and then you stumble. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, I was hanging out, and he had a great time when we were hanging out. And Bill said, "Bill," and goes, "It's her. She had a good time. Didn't you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm sorry, man. You know, got a job here. Like, and then it's like, fuck you, I'm out of here. You know, forever. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, and then they push it, and they're very strict about it. And it's like, I'm notorious for telling your mom jokes, even to like anybody. Like, I'm your mom, and that's what she said. Um, and what happens is I'll say it to some buddies, and then I'll like click, oh shit, their mom died when we were in high school. Like, fuck, and then like they're usually pretty cool about it, but like there's a couple buddies that are like, yo, like everybody. I do it with every. Clearly, their parents have dead for decades. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that's what she's. You know what I mean? Just that's because at least want to land. It's more important to have that lands than to have missed one. That's my philosophy. So, anyways, uh, the discussion of respect. Okay, so the discussion of respect seems odd to me. To give respect only once someone has proven themselves worthy. In the pronoun situation you brought up, you said you'd let someone's pronoun, and it sounds hypothetical at this point. Only if the person has already proven that they know you won't be forced to use them. Acted the way you describe, we'd be pretty wretched. We'd be a pretty wretched world because no one's default would be respect. And honestly, I don't think you'd actually do that. I bet you offer people respect automatically at all time. If you walked into a store, bumped into someone, sorry, ma'am, and you were corrected to sir, I really doubt you'd then say, no, I'm sticking with ma'am. You probably would say anything. You probably wouldn't say anything because the whole issue is moot. This is a roundabout way of asking again, what do you think you'd say that that offensive to a trans person? Why do you think trans persons won't give you the chance to be your friend? Okay, so gender pronouns are different. Oh, it's a C above. Why does it say C above? Oh, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so gender pronouns are different because of the respect is why you do it for some. You must do it for all at the same. Rights are easy to lose and hard to come by. So that's you're probably right. I would do it out of respect, but if someone's being demanding, a lot of people like when the mask thing happened, it's the same way. Like I don't get as many pronouns as I was getting mask arguments with people. Like where you come in and be like, you have to have a mask, and those people that follow you through the grocery store. It's happened to me on like 4 occasions, and like you see it online, and you're like, it's never gonna happen to me. It's one in a million. No, like no, it isn't. No, like our Walmart had like 10 people, like constantly that were down there like mask policing people, not because they're being paid by Walmart, because they were trying to be good Samaritans. Um, so, anyways, um, and then I believe I addressed that readdressment of the what would I say? Um, did I? Oh no, I guess I didn't. I said see above, and I think that was just a cop out for me. So no, I'm sure that it would get heated, and you know if no, I'm sure I'd crack a joke, like I just said with your mom jokes, and you find somebody's mom had died, and you know what I mean. You're like, hey, dude, or you just made a your mom joke to somebody you've known for maybe a couple days, and you're like making your mom joke, and they're like, wow, dude, my mom's dead, and it really hurt me. You go, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. Or, hey, man, I'm sorry, I forgot. Your mom's, you know what I mean? Like, and people get over it, and that's the problem. People know that I'm going to make your mom joke, and they don't want to, like, they don't want to engage. Like, they, instead of saying, hey, man, not cool, you know what I mean? Or, just joke, you know what I mean? Life is light. Nobody ever has left. Everyone's serious all the time. So I try to compensate for it because, I don't know, if you have a pile of sunny days and you need to have an equal amount of rainfall for every sunny day you have. That's why that one day that you had like a month of sunny days and you just had like one day it just poured to the point that it flooded your town. That's because everything's trying to reach equilibrium. There's always so much water in the world and it all has to come out of the sky, and you can come out a little bit every day or it can come out all at once. So that's how I look at it. Like, if everybody else is going to be like a storm cloud every day, it is. You know, so, so that was it. Name last. I did receive your email. Check your inbox. I did reply to it. So I had a couple questions for you, and if you get the ball rolling, if we can keep that dialogue going on the sideline, we can get you on the show. And I just got to figure out, obviously, I don't know where, you know what I mean. Like, I thought you were just the people that troll me or local, and so I'm guessing you're probably not local, so you're Zoom in or Skype or whatever, and I just got to figure out if that's the case. Then I just got to figure out how we're gonna do that because it's been a while since we did that, and there used to be a bunch of free software during COVID, and most of it's like pay now, all the extra fees and blah blah blah. So we Skype, I record, and it'll be live. So I'm